I'm live. All right. So I guess we'll be waiting for everybody to pop in here, and we'll get going here soon. We just went live a few minutes ago. We'll go ahead and get started here when we get more people into the room. Hopefully, more people will be jumping in here soon enough. Wore my special Boston shirt today, Boston Strong, and my old BU hat. Fun fact: I used to work at BU for 2 years. I lived in Cambridgeport, right across the river, right across the river from the Fit Rack at BU. Will, you want to say hi to people? Here. Can you say hi? Can you say hi? There's people watching. Can you say hi? Say hi. Do this. Can you do that? Maybe. Yeah, there you go. Did you have a good nap? We're going to do trivia in just a few minutes. Do you know trivia? Maybe. All right. Well, 4 o'clock might be a bad time. That's okay though, because we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started. So you can certainly jump in whenever you feel like jumping in. We'll go ahead and get started. So, those who don't know who I am, my name is Scott. The people call me Flick. Last name's Flickinger. I am associated with the Boys and Girls Club in that I help co-direct the camp in the summertime called Camp Northbound. It's a great time. I have lots of fun doing it. It's a great 5 days worth of activities and team building and personal growth and bonding and all that. So I highly encourage you to talk to your folks at the Boys and Girls Club to learn more about the Boys and Girls Club camp during the summer. It's in mid to later August, and it's called Camp Northbound. So in the meantime, today we're going to be doing some trivia. So last week I did some trivia in terms of animal trivia. This week, the trivia is going to be trivia about science. So the way I do trivia is pretty simple. I'll read the question off to you, and then I will give you 15 seconds to answer after I give you your options. So the options I give you basically are 4 options. Only one of the options is correct, so you don't have to worry about guessing how many of those options are right, how many of them are wrong. One of those is right, and then after the 15 seconds are done, I'm happy to give you the answer, and then we go on to the next question. So anyway, like I said, the questions that I'll be asking today are science-related questions. So I promise they're not too hard. A lot of them are fun, but I enjoy science. I hope you do too. There's a cat in the background right there. That is that guy right there. That's Sterling. So you can say hi to Sterling at any point. I'm sure he won't mind. There might be some other cats roaming around too, so be ready to say hi to them as well. And we'll go ahead and we'll get started with trivia today. So, all right. So, trivia question number one. And again, it's science. So, don't worry about having to know, like, do I need to know Bernoulli's principle or anything like that. These are more on the fun side of science. If you can call science fun, I call science fun. I like science. So, anyway, your first question. So, for those of you who are chemistry people who love chemistry, right? What is the only letter that does not appear on the periodic table? So what's the only letter that does not appear on the periodic table? Is it X, J, Q, or Y? You have 15 seconds to figure that out. If you're playing along and want to answer in the chat, you can certainly answer in the chat as well. So those are letters you don't commonly see. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. So the answer to that, so we definitely see a Y in there sometimes. We've seen an X in there, especially if you're a fan of xenon, which is an inert gas. You will see Q in there, but only for some of the temporary or man-made elements. So the only letter that doesn't appear on the periodic table at all is the letter J. So if you answer J, you are correct. Good job. That takes us to question number 2. So in terms of precipitation rate, what continent, so you got a 1 in 7 chance of figuring this out, what continent has the lowest precipitation rate in the world? What continent has the lowest precipitation rate in the world? Is it Antarctica, Asia, Australia, or South America? You got 15 seconds to figure that out. So here's a hint. Places that have lots of deserts don't get lots of rainfall. So you might want to take time to think about that. Again, which place does not have or has the least amount? 5 seconds, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And time is up. So of all those places, you would think the ones with deserts wouldn't have the most rainfall. But Antarctica, which is in itself considered a gigantic desert because it only receives 6.5 inches of rain a year, is the one that has the least amount of rainfall, the least amount of precipitation. The cold also makes it so it doesn't want to rain or snow or precipitate a lot. So Antarctica is your correct answer for that. So if you answered Antarctica, great job to you. Question number 3. Hope you like snakes, because this one's about snakes. Which snake has been recorded as the fastest slitherer in the world? Which snake is pretty much the fastest snake in the world? Is it the black mamba? Is it the ball python? Is it the garter snake? Or is it the king cobra? You have 15 seconds to figure that one out. All the snakes I just mentioned, which one is the fastest one? I'll give you a hint. Fastest one, the fastest snake has been recorded going about 12.5 miles per hour. So, whichever snake does that. 5 seconds, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And the answer to that, I hope you have the right mentality for it, the mamba mentality, if you will. The black mamba is the fastest snake in the world, being recorded at 12.5 miles an hour. So if you got that one right, good job. Next question, question number 4. This one's a little tougher because we're talking about flight and what the forces of flight are. So an airplane flying straight and level at a constant speed has 4 forces acting on it at all times. So it's lift, drag, thrust, and what's the 4th one? Is it mass, size, weight, or nature? So think about this one. There's always something pushing down or pushing up or on the sides or whatever. So which one of those that I mentioned, mass, size, weight, or nature, is a force that acts on an airplane during flight? You got 5 seconds to figure that out. 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Well, your answer to that is going to be weight. So what is weight? It's basically gravity pulling down on mass. That is weight. So it's basically how strong of a gravitational pull you exert from your mass on a planet or wherever you're at, nearest body, right? So weight is your correct answer. So if you answered weight, great job. You guys are on fire so far, so this next one's going to be fire and about the flames and colors of flames. So question number 5, what color flame on average tends to be the hottest flame? So which color, if you see this flame, tends to be the hottest one? Is it orange, red, yellow, or white? So you have 15 seconds to figure that out. So all fire is hot, but depending on what color it is, certain colors have certain heat ranges. You got to take a look at which one has which one's the hottest one, which one has the highest heat range. 5 seconds to figure that out. 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. So of the 4 I mentioned, which was red, yellow, orange, and white, well, the closest you get to white, the hotter it becomes. So white, being the hottest one, is the correct answer. And a white flame generally generates about 2,500 to 2,900 degrees Fahrenheit. So great job for you if you answered white on that question. I'm going to talk about stars for this next one. Question number 6. What type of star is the oldest type of star for the average star? So your average density star, like we know what the average density of the star is, but which type of star is the oldest in terms of its life cycle? So I'm going to give you 4 choices. You got to figure out which one's the oldest one is. Is it the red giant? Is it the protostar? Is it the white dwarf? Or is it the black dwarf? 15 seconds to figure that one out. And again, if you want to play along in the chat, you can certainly play along in the chat if you're watching. Otherwise, you can just figure it out at home. Try not to use Google. It's no fun if you're using Google, right? 5 seconds to figure it out. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So as a star gets older, it tends to expand. And then when it burns up all of its gases and all of its energy, it then contracts down again and shrinks down. So a protostar, proto meaning basically new, is at the very beginning. The red giant is probably right in the middle, all right, of its life cycle. And then as it shrinks down, it turns into a white dwarf. And then when it finally burns out, it turns into a black dwarf. So the answer to this one is D, black dwarf. All right. So where's our sun right now? Well, it's not a red giant yet. It's still before that phase. So we've got billions of years to worry about it burning out. So don't worry about it burning out right now. All right. Great job if you answered black dwarf on that one. Question number 7, we're going to talk about mushrooms. Plants need air, water, soil, and sunlight to survive, correct? Correct. Mushrooms only need 3 of those, right? So which thing doesn't a mushroom need in order to survive? Does it not need, or can it lack air, light, soil, or water? 15 seconds to figure that out. So again, plants need air, water, soil, and sunlight to make food or to generate food, generate its own food. Mushrooms only need 3 of those things. Doesn't need one of those things. So which one doesn't it need? 5 seconds to figure that out. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And the answer to that, well, mushrooms don't make their own food. They have to get their nutrients from somewhere else. So they don't need to do anything like photosynthesis. So if it doesn't need to do photosynthesis, it doesn't need the photo part. Good job if you got that one right. We're halfway done. We're at question number 8. So question number 8 is a geology question, but I put a little Minecraft spin on it. So for those of you who play Minecraft and love to play Minecraft, here's your question. So dorite, andesite, and obsidian are the rocks you find, or some of the rocks you find in Minecraft. Those are also actually real life rocks too. But the question is, what type of rock are they? What are they considered to be in terms of classification? Are they a metamorphic rock, a conglomerate rock, a sedimentary rock, or an igneous rock? 15 seconds to figure that out. I love playing Minecraft myself. I'm not necessarily the supreme builder that you might see out there, but I just love exploring Minecraft. It's fun. So those 3 rocks I named, dorite, andesite, obsidian, what are they classified as? Because they are real rocks. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and time. So those are formed by the mass heating and cooling of lava. So if you're near in Minecraft, if you're near a volcano or near lava, you're going to see many more of these because they are igneous rocks. So the correct answer to that is igneous rocks. So if you got that one, good job for you. All right. The next question is a true or false question. So you got a 50-50 shot of getting it right. So this one's about tornadoes, a little weather action for you. Right, true or false? 95% of tornadoes that happen in the northern hemisphere, meaning everything or all the countries north of the equator, including us, 95% of tornadoes in the northern hemisphere rotate counterclockwise, meaning they go basically from left to right and spin around. That might be backwards to you, but it's not to me, right? True or false? 95% of tornadoes in the northern hemisphere rotate counterclockwise. 15 seconds to figure that one out. All right. If you're playing along at home, feel free to answer in the chat. Otherwise, answer it amongst yourselves with friends. Try not to use Google. Not a lot of fun. Not a lot of fun if you're using Google. Kind of spoils trivia. 5 seconds to figure it out. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Well, the answer to this, for the most part, is true. It is true. Now, if you go to the southern hemisphere, just by the way, the airflow happens and the gravity and such down there, they'll actually spin clockwise. So they'll actually spin from right to left versus left to right. So true is the correct answer to that. So if you guessed true, good job for you on that. Number 10. This one is an oceanography question. I hope you like oceanography and things about the ocean. So stretching over 1,400 miles, 1,400 miles, what is the largest coral reef structure on the Earth? Remember, 1,400 miles, coral reef structure. What's the largest one? Is it the Great Barrier Reef, the Mariana Trench, the red algae bloom, or the Mesoamerican Reef? 15 seconds to figure that one out. 1,400 miles. That is a very long stretch. It covers roughly 130,000 plus square miles. So 5 seconds to figure that out. 4, 3, 2, and 1. So the largest one, and you'll find it down Australia's way, is the Great Barrier Reef. So the Mariana Trench is just that. It's a giant, one of the deepest trenches. The red algae bloom is something you don't want to touch because it's actually very poisonous. Not poisonous, but has lots of bacteria, which is harmful to us. And the Mesoamerican Reef, if you guess that, you get second place because it's actually the second largest reef in the world, right? Thanks to my wife for figuring that out for me. She is the marine biologist in the family. So Great Barrier Reef is the correct answer. All right. Question number 11. This one is a human body question. So how long does it take for one little blood cell, to make a full trip around the body? So if whatever point you start from, how long does it take for it to get back to that same point? Right? Is it 15 seconds, 30 seconds, 45 seconds, or 60 seconds? Yeah, 15 seconds to figure that out. All right. And again, if you're playing along at home, feel free to answer in the chat. Otherwise, play at home with your family, friends. Enjoy. Just don't use the Google. All right. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. And the answer is it takes 1 full minute, 60 seconds to get around the body from whichever point you start at. All right. So 60 seconds is the correct answer. So you guess 60 seconds. Great job to you. Know your blood cells. All right. Next question, question number 12. We've got 3 more questions after this. So this is a studies question. So I hope you know your Latin, because if you know your Latin, you'll be able to figure this out. So blank is the study of fish. blank is the study of fish? Is it entomology, ichthyology, ornithology, or herpetology? I'll say them again. Entomology, ichthyology, ornithology, or herpetology? 15 seconds to figure that out. Again, if you know your Latin prefixes, you're going to pretty much figure this one out almost instantly. Looks like we can give shout outs. A shout out to Brendan McDonald, who is one of the greatest ichthyologists out there. Right. And shout out to Joel, too. What's going on? 5 seconds to figure it out. 4, 3, 2, 1. So, in this, ichthy would mean fish, and ology means study. So, fish study, ichthyology, is the correct answer. So, the other three, herpetology is the study of reptiles and amphibians. Ornithology is the study of birds, and entomology is the study of bugs. So now you know. All right. Great job if you got it right. Question number 13. So right now, there are 5 basic tastes that the tongue can register. All right. I've got 3 of them listed here. Which one is not a basic taste that the tongue can register? Is it bitter, salty, sour, or heat? 15 seconds to figure that out. I know the camera loves me. I love the camera. It is fantastic. Which one of those is the one that your tongue cannot register? Bitter, salty, sour, heat. 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, if you haven't figured out, heat is not something you exactly taste. It's just a sensation or a feeling that you get. It's not necessarily a taste. So, of the other ones, the bitter, salty, and sour, those are actually tastes you can taste. Heat is not a taste. So, if you answered heat, you are correct. That is not a basic taste. The other two, sweet and umami, which is like a savory flavor. So, but scientists are also figuring out there may be more complexities and more tastes out there. So we'll find out as we develop all those studies. Question number 14. This is about speed. Hope you like speed. Let's get through this one quickly then. 767 miles per hour is the speed at which what travels? 767 miles per hour. What is it? Is it the speed of light, the speed of heat, the speed of sound, or the speed of Brendan McDonald? 15 seconds to figure that out. One of those is obviously wrong. So you actually have a 1 in 3 chance of figuring it out. 767 miles per hour. That's pretty fast. So what is that the speed of? 5 seconds, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, you hear it a lot, and you see it a lot, especially with military vehicles, especially military planes. Those sonic booms you hear where you see the plane and then you hear the boom, well, that's because that plane is traveling faster than 767 miles per hour, which is the speed of sound. So if you guess the speed of sound, you are correct on that one. Great job. So one last question, and then we're all done for today. And I hope you're up on your computing, because it's a computer question. It's actually got a math component to it, but you might be able to figure it out. So a terabyte. A terabyte is a unit of measurement in terms of bytes or digital coding in a computer. How many bytes are in a terabyte? Is it 1,000 bytes, 1 trillion bytes, 1 billion bytes, or 1 million bytes? All right, 1,000 bytes, 1 trillion bytes, 1 billion bytes, 1 million bytes. How many bytes are in a terabyte? Again, if you know your prefixes, this ought to be pretty easy for you. 5 seconds to figure that out. 4, 3, 2, and 1. So terabyte is basically 10 to the 12th power. So there are 12 zeros after the 1. So how much is 12 zeros after a 1? Well, that's 1 trillion. So the answer to that is 1 trillion. There you have it. Those are all the questions for today for the science trivia for the Boys and Girls Club of Dorchester. I hope you had a good time. Thank you so much for hosting me again. I hope you have a wonderful week. Take care of yourself. Stay inside. Stay out of trouble. And keep positive. And if you're interested in the Camp Northbound aspect of this, which is the camp I talked about earlier, talk to your manager or you talk to your program people about that. Learn more about Camp Northbound. Till then, hope everybody's safe. Take care.